If you are bored and have nothing to do, it's time for a story between me and you. Sit down or lie down or pull up a chair. Inside my head is the story I'll share. I'm going to tell you a story today about a dragon and an old lady who lived in a rickety old house. The dragon lived on a cliff with his mom. His name was Ricky. Now, Ricky the dragon had just learnt to fly. He had very big wings like this. And every day he had learnt one more thing about flying. Now he was ready to fly over the ocean. When he flew over the ocean, he saw all sorts of things. He saw fish in the sea, and he saw whales. He even saw sharks. I know some of you friends out there love sharks. As he was flying one day, he saw in the distance on a hill this rickety old house. Do you know what rickety means? It means it's a house that's not very steady. It kind of looked odd. Anyway, he decided to fly over to the house to see who lived in it. And as he was flying towards the house, he noticed that the windows in the house were really dirty. Somebody in that house didn't do a very good job at cleaning their windows. It was a tall house, and he flew all the way to the top and he looked in. He could see there was an old lady inside there. She seemed to be all alone, and he thought, I think I'm going to knock on her door. Her door was quite big, so he knocked on the door with his talon. Do you know what his talon is? A talon is his actual claw, and this is exactly what he did. So he knocked on the door. "Who's there?" said the woman. "Who's knocking at my door? Go away." Oh my goodness. Ricky was quite surprised. He was surprised, one, that she wouldn't come to the door to let him in, and two, that she was kind of mean. But then he thought, well, I don't know if I want to meet this person who doesn't want to meet me. So he decided to fly back to the cave. When he got back to the cave on the edge of the cliff, he told his mom, "Mom, I went to this house. It was a rickety old house, and inside there was a woman, and I saw her through her window, the top window, because her windows, the others were quite dirty. And I knocked on the door, Mum, and she said, 'Who's knocking on my door?' She didn't want me to come in. She didn't want to be my friend." Now, Ricky's mum said, not everybody wants to be friends. So maybe she doesn't want to be your friend, but that's okay. You'll meet other dragons and other people and also things in the ocean. But the next day, Ricky was kind of bored. I bet some of you friends are bored right now, having to try and find things to do. So Ricky decided he was going to try again. And he spread out his wings and he flew off the edge of the cliff and flew over across the ocean to the rickety old house. This time he went around and around the house. He was thinking about it. Am I doing the right thing? Should I go and knock on her door? But he decided, yeah, he wanted to. So he went back to the house, and he went to the door, and he knocked on the door again. "Oh, for goodness sakes, who's knocking at my door?" All of a sudden, the door opened. There was a woman, the woman that he'd seen through the window. She looked all the way up. He was a tall dragon. He looked all the way down. She was a short lady. "What do you want?" she said. "Can't you see that I'm busy? I'm baking a pie." Oh, I'm so sorry," said Ricky. I didn't realize you were baking a pie. I don't even know what a pie is. What is that?" "You don't know what a pie is? What have you been eating?" "Well," said Ricky, I've just been eating worms and some fish from the sea, which my mum was getting for me." Oh, I'm rhyming. Fish from the sea, which my mum was getting for me. Anyway, he could smell the pie. He was a dragon who had pretty good nostrils. Took a good deep breath in with his nostrils and said, something really does smell quite good." The old lady said, well, what's your name anyway? What are you doing standing in the door? Come on in, seeing as you're already here. Well, my name is Ricky, said the dragon, and I live on the cliff in a cave on the side of the cliff with my mum. Oh, she said, well, come on in then, and you may as well have a piece of pie, seeing as you're here. Ricky said, I don't know your name. What's your name? She said, well, my name is Agatha. And I live in this rickety old house. I've lived here for many, many years, and I don't get many visitors. So, well, okay. Come on in and I'll give you a piece of pie. So she went into the kitchen and she took out the pie, and it smelled delicious. It was golden brown on the top. And she took out a knife and she cut a piece of pie for Ricky. And then as he sat, well, I don't know how dragons sit. I mean, he was pretty big. So he sort of sat on the floor because he couldn't fit on a chair. Could he? He was too big. He took a bite of the pie. He said, this is the best thing I've ever tasted. What is in this pie? Agatha said, well, you're going to have to guess. I want to see if you can guess what's inside the pie. Well, how could he guess what was inside the pie? All he'd ever eaten was fish from the sea and worms. So she told him. She said, I made a pie, my favorite, with blackberries and strawberries and rhubarb, and I even threw in some apple. So it's a fruit pie. Well, Ricky was very happy. It was delicious. Well, she said, come on your way. Out you go. Wait, said Ricky. I'm wondering, I've never, ever baked a pie or made a pie. And I'm wondering if I can come back and see you one day if you can show me how to bake a pie. Agatha put her fingers together like this. Well, she said, okay, all right, come back another day. Come back on Thursday and I will teach you how to make a pie. All right, now on your way, off you go. Ricky the dragon went to the door, said goodbye. Well, he waved goodbye with his wings, and then off he went, and he flew all the way back to where his mum was in the cave on the side of the cliff. He said, Mum, you're not going to believe this, but I met the lady in the rickety old house, and her name is Agatha, and I had a piece of pie. His mother said, well, that's wonderful. What kind of pie did you eat? He had to think for a moment. He had to use his brain and think with his memory. It was strawberries and blackberries and apple, and I'm sure that I'm missing something. Anyway, he had a delicious pie and he was happy to share it with his mum. Until next time, my friends, when I have another story out of my head, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Have a great day.